Today I'll just share a very small story of my life. When I was 1 year old, I suffered from bronchitis. For 5 years, I was on medication, on steroids, on antibiotics. Just imagine a small child who is 1 year old till the age of 6. Every day that child is going through Asthaline, have been fed, Benadryl, and a lot of. And look at the condition of the parents. The child is coughing, the child is not able to breathe properly, and it kind of after 6 years they say that the child builds an immunity, and that is when it started subsiding. Then when I think I kept getting small cough and all those typical problems which any child does have, but when I was in my 11th standard, I got something called as sinusitis from 11th standard, and that was when the pressure of work and all of that of my studies really was on the high end. So that is where I started getting very regular sinus attacks, which is like sinus is just for everybody's understanding. It is when you start, there is some kind of allergy which happens in your T-zone, and you start sneezing and you just cannot stop sneezing. And the solution was for me to have a cetirizine, and that's how it just dried up very quickly. And I continued from my 11th standard till about last year. I was having a frequency of sinus in terms of maybe once or twice a week, and when this pressure or the stress in my life increased, it was more, and when the weather changed, it was more, less. So there was like I could never get rid of. And the only way, it was like an addiction, the only way I could get rid of it was I had to have the cetirizine or the medicine, which just dried up the mucus that was being formed on my T-zone. Last 2 years, while I was getting a lot of fascination about Ayurveda, about natural life, and I've also done my yoga and naturopathy course because I was so benefited by this entire science. And last 2 years, the only thing I have done is I have actually stopped. Last 2 years, the only thing I have done is I have stopped eating products which form mucus. How did I do it? I actually went and understood what is that is inside me. What is it that is aggravating this all respiratory related diseases. I was actually very scared of corona because when they said that corona affects lungs, I already thought that my lungs are weak, and because of all the respiratory diseases I've always had. So what I understood is that I have a kapha prakriti. So Ayurveda has this very beautiful concept of what is your birth constitution. Each one of us is born differently, and at the time of the birth only, our body has certain characteristics. Our body, our temperament, our being short-tempered, being having mood swings, being even from inside, like what will be my structure, what will be how is my body from within. So that is something which is called the birth constitution, and it's very unique for everybody. So last 2 years I found out that I have a kapha prakriti, and kapha prakriti means that my body is already very cool from inside. It already has a mucus forming tendency. So any more mucus forming substances or cold substances if I'm adding, it would aggravate. I'm not a doctor, but this is the layman understanding of this entire concept, which was good enough for me being an engineer and able to understand the logic what it is. So if I already have something which is I have a cold tasir or the inside thing, and if I'm eating more cold, it will just aggravate and it will form into cough, or it will form into some kind of, it will start having congestion. Last 1.5 years I have stopped having milk products. I have made sure that I'm not eating a lot of cold food, the food which has got in by nature. It doesn't mean the food out of fridge, but by nature, like yogurt or even milk or other fruits which are also very cold in nature. So I've just stopped eating them, and you won't believe that 90% of my sinusitis is cured. and I was on the verge of going for an operation where I have to, just there is some bone here that they say that is what aggravates, and what not. But such a simple solution to such a complicated problem. 20 years I have been on medication, and here I just change a small thing in my lifestyle and I am healed. This is one of the reasons for genesis of Naturefit, one platform which gets you everything together. All kind of practitioners who will heal you naturally are on this platform. You have all natural organic products on the platform, and that's all we want, or we want to understand ourselves before we are actually going for any kind of change or any kind of even treatment. We first need to understand what is that is going on inside, because of which I am having an ailment. So yeah, that's my story, and that's the reason why Naturefit is live today.